Hello, Tim from Fair Play now on the 17th of May 2021. Now, I've got a lot to get through here, so I'm going to probably have to refer to my little list of notes just so I don't miss anything out, because I just seem to have built up a lot to say today, one way or the other. But first things first, the 17th of May is that big day when, here in the UK at least, we're all reopening and everything is getting as far back to normal, supposedly, for the first time since pretty much the 22nd of March last year, because I think there's some places in this country, like Leicester, who never really came out of lockdowns and tiers and things like that. So really, this is the first time when we're all free, supposedly, apart from the fact that we can't travel abroad really or what have you, but at least we can go and sit down inside restaurants and pubs and things now. God knows how long that will last. I hope it lasts a good while and this continues. So of course some of the restrictions are going to continue, the masks and the social distancing, until at least the 21st of June, unless they decide to go back on that. But we shall see. But what I'm going to do is try and make the most of it. So starting tonight, we're going to go to the local curry house, our favourite curry house, for a nice meal there and probably a couple of cheeky beers as well. So looking forward to that, and that'll literally be the first time I've gone inside a restaurant, sat down, had a meal since the 24th of December last year. And I actually made a video on that day saying how this might be my last restaurant supper ever, because obviously we're going to be going into lockdown and God knows how long it was going to last, and by the time we came out of it we may well be in this whole vax passport situation where might not even be able to go into these places anyway. So that was my fears back then. So luckily it wasn't my last restaurant supper ever, because I'm going tonight. I tell a little bit of a lie, because we did go to a little place. We've got a nice little sort of bistro cafe place that's recently opened in the village here, and we went there for lunch yesterday, just had sort of burger and chips. So that was the first visit to a restaurant since December. But of course yesterday we still had to sit outside. Today we're able to go inside and actually have a meal inside. But yeah, that was good, and there wasn't any kind of apps tracking nonsense going on. We just kind of were allowed to go in there and sit down. I'm not sure if that's because it was outside and whether it will be a bit different tonight. Not really sure what's going to happen tonight on that score, to be honest with you, although I do know them up there, so I don't think it will be too problematic, I don't think, especially if I sort of say, oh, I forgot my phone or something. Also, to make the most of the whole 17th of May thing, easing the restrictions. Of course, we don't know how long they'll last, and you know, these things tend to turn on a sixpence, and we can easily be back into restrictions again this time next week, and who knows. So I have actually decided to take a week off, and it's the first bit of time off I've had since Christmas, and I was starting to feel, you know, just a little bit burnt out and a bit just tired and mentally fatigued. And I sort of then realised that I hadn't really had any time off whatsoever since, as I say, Christmas. Just hasn't seemed like a lot of point, to be honest. You know, and what was there to do during the whole time of lockdown? But I thought this was a good week to do it, because A, I could just recharge the batteries a little bit, and B, you know, hopefully make the most of these restriction easings that are happening for as long as that may continue. God knows how long or how short that will be. might actually go away. Not sure. We're just going to make a last minute decision on that tomorrow morning, and then maybe book somewhere up, and if we can find somewhere, hopefully get away. Just only be for a couple of nights, really, for just a change of scene. You know, I've been in these sort of four walls for months, really, apart from going out to work, pretty much. So it'll be a nice change of scene as well. So if I don't get videos uploaded in the next few days, it's probably because we've gone away and haven't got any signal or Wi-Fi or whatever. So that, just to pre-warn you in advance, that will be what the reason is on that. Moving on, just a last couple of thoughts on the 15th of May, the worldwide demonstrations, which I kind of went along to, the one in London. I understand they were very well attended all over the place. And although the numbers weren't quite as much as they were on the 24th of April, it was still a significant turnout, probably somewhere between a fifth and a quarter of the numbers that we had on the 24th of April, so probably somewhere in the sort of 50 to 100,000 people range, rather than sort of 250 to 500,000 people. I'd estimate it might have been a bit more than that. It did seem like a lot of people. But of course, again, no mainstream media coverage whatsoever. Not from the BBC, not from Sky, not from any of them. And yeah, just totally disgusting. Even though we're stood outside the BBC sort of shouting away and making our sort of displeasure known, shall we say, they still choose to ignore us. But all we can do is just keep at it, keep these protests up, keep going along, keep protesting in other ways as well, and just keep the pressure on them. And yeah, they've got to crack. Surely they've got to crack before too long. On Sunday, the 16th, even though I was still a bit knackered from the 15th, I went along to my local stand in the park at Tilgate Park there in Crawley. And yeah, the numbers are growing. I had another 3 new people there on Sunday. And I must say, there's some very, very kind of go-getting people in that group with some really good ideas, some really sort of forward-thinking ideas. And I think it's going to be a little group, a good little group that's going to just grow and grow. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of it. Even though I can't go to the one next week, next Sunday, it's my mum's birthday, and I've got to go along to a little do she's having at the same time. But I will be back for future Sundays after that. So I said I was going to update you on the Flccc latest weekly update, which happened last Thursday. I watched it, all about obviously the drug that ends with mectin and starts with I, but he didn't really update that much on what we already know. And really, I suppose the latest news is at the start of the month, the WHO kind of apparently came out with a tweet reconfirming their position that they, well, basically don't want to have anything to do with Iver. So that's a bit predictable and a bit sad. That update was still well worth watching in actual fact. 13th of May episode, still worth watching, because Dr. Corey there on the Flccc channel does really kind of go into the problems that we're facing with Iver. If you don't know what this whole Iver thing's all about, I can well recommend a little video I saw today. It's only about 20 minutes long, and it's made by an American guy. Well worth watching, because he explains what Iver is, the results that have been obtained from it as far as this pandemic is concerned, and why they think, the makers of this video think, that its use has been suppressed and not encouraged. And I think it'll really fill you in on a lot of things and get you up to speed as far as the whole Iver drug things concerned. So well worth a watch, and I'll leave a link to it below. And I've actually got it on my brand new website. I kind of made a video last week saying how I was in the process of setting up a website. So I've got it up and running now. Very, very basic. It's only 2 pages long. There's a home page where I've just written a bit of blurb saying what I want the site to be doing and what it will be about going forward. So it's like an intro thing, and then just one other page about, well, I think it's entitled "Why Aren't We Using Iver?" So, you know, that drug. I've got a whole page dedicated to that. So, and on that page I've got links. There's sort of big red buttons that I've put on there, and if you click on them you'll be taken through to this video. It's a little bit too, the video I'm talking about is a little bit too fruity, shall we say, for YT's tastes, so I won't leave a link to it under this video here. But if you go through to my website, and yeah, if you want, you can have a quick look around my site as well. I've also written a bit of blurb on the Iver page as to what I've found out so far about Iver, so you might want to read that. But if you don't want to do that, just at least click on those big red buttons and you'll go through. So the site is very similar to what this channel's called, Fair Play Now, but it's fairplaynow.net. You'll go through to my site, you'll see a little picture of me, so you'll know you're at the right place. And if that's all you do, you'll see a couple of buttons at the top, normal sort of navigation bar thing. And there's a button there, "Why Aren't We Using Iver?" Or if you kind of just directly type into your browser bar fairplaynow.net/Iver, IVER, that'll just take you straight to the Iver page. And then just scroll down a bit and you'll see those big red buttons. Go through to the video and watch the video from there. So I'm hoping by directing you first of all to my website, and then my website directing you to the video, hopefully we won't be looking at too much in the way of censor problems. So that's the way I've got to do it. It's a little bit convoluted, but not too bad. And I'll leave a link to my website. It's quite an easy one to remember, isn't it? But I'll leave a link to it both in the description box below and in the comments section below, if I can do that as well. I'll try and get back tomorrow. As I say, not sure what I'm doing, so if I don't come back to you, it's because I'll be somewhere in the wilds without too much of a signal. But I'll be back very, very shortly anyway, in the next sort of few days, with more updates. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.